Hey guys, this is Anthony and welcome to another video after a long time. Today I will talk about a processor series made by Intel, the Celeron. And the question is, how far can we push a Celeron? As you know, Celerons are very slow and with less memory cache, etc. It's a very low range processor. So how far can we push this thing? Let's take a look at that.
So let's take out the fan and took the old CPU without thermal paste. So the Pentium dual core not running hotter, that's a great thing. To replace it by the new processor just here. The spec of this Intel Celeron 430, it runs at 1.8 GHz, it's on one core without hyperthreading. There is no virtualization capable for this processor, and it has a half of gigs of level 2 memory cache. So let's put into the new computer, putting a little thermal paste on it, replace the red, and we are ready to start this machine. It worked perfectly, it was recognized by the BIOS, so let's start Windows on time. Here we will test with Cinebench and some games to see the performance of this processor. You will see without overclocking and with the overclocking. I hope I will push it as the best as I can. If you want to have more information, you can go to the Arc Intel website. You will have all information about this processor, more than as I said just before. For example, the V-core, it will be important for the overclocking, and you have all the technology of this processor able or not.
For the French, can we say accélérons ce processeur?
So let's start the overclocking. Remember, overclocking, you do it at your own risk. It's a risky operation, it could damage your CPU. Let's take things closer and do it slower. We don't want to damage the CPU. I will make some restart, test stabilities, because your processor after an overclocking must be stable, of course, for people who don't know how it works. And after I found a breaking point of this machine, I will try the games without and with the overclocking. Same thing for the Cinebench test. And finally, after some restart, I stopped at 2.45 GHz. I cannot overclock more than this. And on the Cinebench, you can see how slow it runs. I've tried just it for stabilities and to make the score. The score without overclocking, you can see already it's 34. Oh my god, it's running so slowly. And after testing the score on the Cinebench with the overclock, I reached 45. And we have the Pentium dual core tested before. So let's try now with games. We started with Call of Duty 6 Modern Warfare 2. You have the CPU not overclocked at stock speed and the CPU on the other side with overclocked. Yeah, so at the bottom of the video you can see the minimum specs for these games, and you can watch now how great it runs on on the same machine with and without overclocking. Without overclocking, we have an average of 21 FPS. Once overclocked, it's a little better, a little more playable. We reach 28 FPS, but it's still bad. And sometimes when you drop into less than 20 FPS, it was very awful to play. And sometimes you reach 60s, 70s, 80s, once overclocked even. So yeah, no. For a game that it runs pretty well on a Pentium 4, that's a single core too, but released 2 or 3 years before the Celeron 430, that was clear this is not the best processor you can have even for these older games. And I'm just dead now. Let's try with another game, Half-Life 2 2015 version. Even on the main menu you can see a difference without and with the overclocking. 13 FPS without overclock, 39. I remember it's all the same settings. Everything was set at the maximum on these games. And when you run the game, yeah, it was playable even without overclocking, but it's clearly better when you overclocked it. You reach the 45 FPS instead 34. It runs smoother when it must regenerate the map in real time. It runs faster, you are less locked, less frame rate dropping. So yeah, here that's maybe an overclocking where you can see a little difference, and it's pretty nice. In this case it's pretty nice. So for an older games, just with a newer version, with a recompilation, yeah, that's cool. Let's get the train pass, jump. It looked nice for older games, just make a recompilation in 2015. Nothing to say. So yeah, that was clear here. The overclocking makes the game playable, and we've got a better performance. So for Half-Life, it's okay, you can overclock the Celeron to have more performance. Oh, can you hear that music? You know what? Now, let's see with Doom 3. Doom 3, there is a map with a lot AI on this map. It's just to test the CPU if it was able to follow everything or not. In the 2 case, it's horrible. Just a little difference, a little better once overclocked, 6 FPS instead 4. Now the game can run probably at stock speed, but it will be better on the Celeron once overclocked. And we cannot stop the test, we cannot stop the video without testing Minecraft. In both cases it was a problem. Definitively Celeron is not made to run Minecraft. Overclocked or not, it's a problem. Just a few better at the loading time once overclocked, but I hit the 0 FPS on the frame rate. 0 FPS. Just when I go forward, when I jumped, when I turn the head, it's just horrible. Now I know Minecraft is a very CPU bound game and it requires more than 1 core CPU, so maybe the 2 cores now on modern Celerons must be better. But at this point, yeah, I'm surprisingly impressed by how bad it runs here. How bad is the map generation. Whoa. We've got 8 FPS on average when it's not overclocked, and once overclocked we've got just a few better 13, but in the 2 case it's totally unplayable. If you destroy the grass, that's exactly the same thing. The frame rate drops a lot. Just horrible. And I didn't go so far, as you can see. I just make a little turn around the spawn point, And it's just enough to show you that this Celeron can't run Minecraft. Clearly, it can't run Minecraft. So I return to my spawn position and I will stop all the tests here. So we will make a little conclusion now about this CPU, this Celeron. How far can we push it and if it was necessary.
So here we go, you can have more performance from your Celeron. Nowadays there are 2 cores and not like mine, but this stay very slow and we cannot have a very good usage with it. Now for desktop tasking it will not be a problem, you will get an improvement too. Here I've tested with smallest game, but it's still a very bad processor, very bad series. If you can avoid the Celeron, it's an advice, avoid it. Take at least a Pentium. I remember when I'd done the video with the Pentium 4 HT, and it was a 32-bit processor, but it runs pretty well compared to the Celeron here.
So now you know, using Celeron processor are bad and it runs not faster. Now I know it's not designed to run games, of course, but even all the games didn't run pretty well at all. So, for desktop tasking, yes, the overclock can make a little difference, but it's still really awful to use. And if I must choose, I will take a Pentium at least, and eventually an i3. So, yeah. Not good at all.
So guys, thank you for watching my video. Don't forget to leave a comment if you want, subscribe to my channel, hit the like button, or if you dislike the video, hit the dislike button. And I will catch you on the next one. And don't forget to see my previous video. Goodbye everyone.